Boom. Hey everyone, how we doing? It is 3:30 on a Tuesday. You know what that means? It's time for At the Close. No Joel this week. He's enjoying the sun rays, enjoying the golfing down in Florida. So I got Money Mitch Hoch with me here to walk us into the close. We have 29 and a half minutes until we're done for the day, which means we got a lot to get to and not a lot of time to get to it. So you know what to do. Hit that like button. Just if the one that looks just like the thumb right there, just do that one, and then we'll start the show. Once I see you hit the like, and then we'll start the intro. I'm gonna wait for you to hit the like. Okay,
Oh,
good
right there.
job. I saw it. Good job, everyone. All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, how are we doing, Mitch? How's your day going? The market is down, but has rebounded. We'll be curious. How was live trading, man? I missed you guys this morning.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Definitely had Zunaid killing that BBIG. So if you guys
you got all up in that.
all up in that BBIG. So if you guys didn't catch that big mover of the day, definitely probably the highest retail interest, even probably a little bit more than DWAC, even though we'll talk a little bit about DWAC today. Hanging out over $5. We actually caught it on that first breakout out of the halt and everything. So definitely, if you guys don't catch live trading with Benzinga, check out how Zunaid traded BBIG today. But also, I mean, DWAC making moves, right? I mean,
Yeah.
DWAC.
Crazy move. We'll get to that in 1 second. Here is your overall. Oh, not that. Here is your overall market for the day. You've got every major index in all the sectors in the red except for one. Holla at your boy Energy, the XLE, your ExxonMobil, your Chevron, your ConocoPhillips, all leading the market higher or leading the market today. Basically, the only sector in the green. Is oil, is energy due for a pullback? Perhaps. It's been on a ridiculous run here. Look at the XLE. Look at the XLE this year. Listen, look at this. Year to date, the XLE, we closed at the 2021 at 55. We're up to $64 right now. We're up $9 in the XLE in basically 2 weeks. Ridiculous move here. But yeah, we've seen the value trade, and XLE is benefiting from that. So that's where your strength is today. A little bit also on the staples, right, which are down, but not down as much as your technology. You look at your QQQs down 2.25%. Your Bitcoin, how is Bitcoin doing? It's actually recovered since I last looked at it. The futures are down about 3.5% today. I don't know why my chart just decided to completely seize up on me. There we go. That's better. So there you see Bitcoin for the day down 1.5%. What else jumps out to me? No, that's kind of it. Again, value is outperforming relative, though a lot of it is down. Real estate is outperforming today. Real estate only down less than 1%, your XLRE, as people hunt for yield in an inflationary environment.
Well, you know how I like to pay attention to some market breadth. I've been paying attention to the stocks under the SMA 200. And I mean, it's not looking good for us right now in the SPY, guys. We're definitely on a kind of upward trend off that kind of channel, the bottom part of that channel. We'll see if we break down to 453 tomorrow. Hopefully we hold right around these levels and we quickly recover up back towards 470, which we've been in that chop zone before. But what I've been watching really is that SMA 200. What kind of stocks are below? What kind of stocks are above? I watched it go as far in December in kind of that early January time. We went into as far as 62% below stocks. At the end of today, I'm looking at it right now, and it's looking at 63% of stocks are underneath the SMA 200. That is not looking good. We're moving in the wrong direction there. If you look at the SMA 50, you see 69.5, almost 70% of stocks are kind of more in that bearish territory right now. Just got to be careful out there, guys. I just don't see this market participating in rallies. And if anything, it keeps showing weakness. And when we get down moves, we get them faster than we get them up. That's the one thing I'm starting to notice. It doesn't mean that the SPY is going to be horrible this year, but I definitely don't expect to, let's say, over 10% into the green for the overall year. It's going to be a chop type of year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just going back just to like October, November-ish, and you can just see, I mean, the SPY is up, and I just decided to throw on this arbitrary time frame, but whatever. SPY up almost 3%, Russell down about 6%. But yeah, Mitch, we're not used to that. We're not used to the SPY only being up 2%. Right, for a given 3-month span,
Yeah.
where we're at right now. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in the camp of like chop fast for the rest of the year, or at the very least until a second rate hike, and then we can reassess from there, whether that comes in in May or June or July. But yeah, I'm just fully in the camp of chop fest right now. You know what is not choppy today, and you mentioned it, is DWAC. This. There are a handful of stocks, Mitch, that you have to kind of put into their own category. They don't trade in relation to anything. GameStop and AMC, for a long time, I would say were in their own category. Maybe they still are. They kind of just do their own thing. I would definitely put DWAC in a separate category unto itself. It is liable to do whatever it wants, whenever it wants. This is moving off of, I think there was a headline on Friday that the app was supposed to go live in February or something like that. But anyway, DWAC is up 25% today. It can go anywhere. It's probably going back to 100 at this point.
Honestly, your bet is probably as good as mine, Spencer. Yeah. Definitely not something I'd try to call. Actually, something I try to stay away from on live trading, just because this is that clear type of stock that, yes, you can make yourself an account, but you could also break yourself, right? And so one thing I always say is just be careful with stocks like this. Ask yourself if it can make or break your account. If it can do it all in one, probably shouldn't be trading it, at least in my game. I try to stay away from stocks like that can really change up your account.
My issue with DWAC as far as trading it is like I wouldn't mind taking a long position, but like I wouldn't even begin to know where
to take it,
where to stop myself. I would have to arbitrarily say 10%, 15%, in which case we're talking like, yes, we're talking like today's open, right? Or like, you know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't even know how to. I guess I could do that. I guess I could control my risk that way. I don't know. Should I just throw a long out on DWAC and put a stop at like 80 and just call it a day?
I don't know, man. It's not my kind of game.
I might just do that. I might just go on my Webull, which is my YOLO account on Webull.
We're going YOLOing. You guys hear it out there. We'll see what happens. I mean, DWAC is definitely interesting. BBIG, another big mover of the day. We'll continue to watch these big movers, especially trade them on live trading. So if you guys haven't caught that before, check it out every single day right here on Benzinga, guys.
I'm thinking about it. And again, I have this YOLO account, and I have a rule that I can't have more. I can't have more than 2 winning trades in a row, right? I've got to have a loser, and I just had a winning trade the other week, so it's time I'm due for a loser, Mitch. So,
right? So take a shot, right? Sometimes, as long as you know you're out. But
Manuel says, why not CFVI instead? Because that's the other SPAC that moves. So there's the 3, right? There's CFVI, there's DWAC, and there's Fun, and they all move together, right?
Trying to get fun with it.
Fun is lower price, so it's definitely easier to like control your risk that way. But wait, let's go back to the CFVI. I have not looked at this chart ever, I don't think. So
I think the fun one's interesting because you at least have some levels.
I don't mind CFVI. Well, I don't know. The thing is though, is like is CFVI going to get to 15 or 16? That would represent what kind of a gain would that be? Like 30%, something like that.
It's not the worst.
I don't know.
The big thing with these is that you just got to be careful because remember we're talking SPACs here.
Yeah, I know. You know, I'd rather just if I'm going to throw in a YOLO trade, I'd rather just stick with the stock at the core of the move here, and
The monster.
in which case it's DWAC. So I'm gonna try. I'm trying to throw in a trade here by the close today. If I can do DWAC here, let's see what we got. Let's throw on. Let's do a few shares of that. Do I want to just throw a market order out there, or do I want to? Yeah, probably. I mean, if I'm going to YOLO, I might as well just market it, right? That's what I'm going to do.
As Triple D would say, you're doing it backwards, man. You're doing it backwards, says Jay.
No, those rules don't apply to meme stocks. Those rules don't apply to meme stocks. Okay, I'm going to say that out there.
Hey, there you go. There you go, guys. We'll see what happens. I mean, hey.
No, those don't chase rules don't apply to meme stocks because we've seen what DWAC can do. I mean, it's one thing for it to be like 10 o'clock in the morning and DWAC is ripping, but we're 19 minutes away from the close here. DWAC is going to close up like at least 20% today, barring some epic collapse in the next few minutes here. And that's a more positive sign than like that candle, right? On from October 22nd or 25th, right? People are going to wake up tomorrow or go home tonight, whatever, and they're going to see that DWAC was up 24% today or whatever it closes at, and they're going to come in tomorrow and buy it. So, again, this is a really small account. It's my YOLO account, but I'm going to throw a trade out there and buy DWAC. All right, 88. All right, that was me at 88.40. So, we're in. I definitely have to throw out a stop. I will throw out a firm limit order on this. No mental stops in DWAC, like hard stops in DWAC. So I'm going to do that right now as well.
Well, as you get that DWAC in there, I'm going to take a look here. One thing I want to point out, this kind of thing I think it's interesting. You don't see this too often. So down today, let's say to 2%, right, from the change, there's three sectors. Technology and healthcare, I could put those two together, right? But not too often do you see consumer defensives also down 2%. That's something a little strange to me. You know, one thing we've been looking at is the value trade. And I think today you saw a little bit of even that get rotated out. Look at Procter & Gamble. I mean, if you take a look at that, it's kind of showing you an example turnaround today, even on consumer defensives, where I think, you know, household personal products, you can take a look there. High capitalization, of course, you got PG. Of course, it's probably Unilever that's probably dragging that down a little bit. But EL, I mean, look at these. They're not looking that good. Clorox also coming down today. I think these are starting to turn around too, the rotation. So where's the rotation going? That's the real question. And where is it going to head to? I mean, if it's out of tech, if it's out of defensives, what are we looking for? And we see energy up. So energy is definitely one of those leaders. But I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, maybe communication services, but that's also some kind of other stocks that are kind of value plays. All right, let's keep going. What other news do we have? Major news here.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to cover and I just threw out a limit order at the V, well, a little bit below the VWAP, up, right? Where it would be like I threw mine out at like 81.50. Just to put a bow on that. What else? Oh yeah, BBIG. Sticking with the meme for a second. Joel's gone, which means we can talk about memes all we want because Joel hates it, right? Joel hates this stuff.
Yeah, Joel would have already got off. He would have.
I'm bringing the memes back here because Joel's gone. So BBIG up 24% today. Congrats to everyone that has been waiting for this. I would say this: if you're underwater in BBIG and you get the chance to either get your money back or take a 10% loss, a 15% loss, do it. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. Do it. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't say, "Oh, but it might rip higher to 12." No. Don't play that game.
I'll tell you, that's how it is, man. A lot of people are playing this game, this BBIG game. Just got to be careful out there. Know what you're getting into, know what your goals are, and also understand exactly what the risk is that you're taking.
Yep.
A stock like this can easily turn on you about, let's say, 30-40%, 30 cents. If you take a look even at the average range is about 10 cents right now. 10 cents even just for this name is about almost 4%. So just to give you some ideas, if 10 cents is almost 4% on the name, you got to be careful there. The stock is going to definitely move up and down and have whipsaws. So just got to be careful out there. Let's take a look at the ATVI. How did we end up doing in the
Oh,
gaming?
yeah. So this is interesting, right? Because Activision, the takeout price is 95, right? And the stock is now at 82. That is a very, very large discount being priced into the stock right now. That's what, like a 10%? That's more than that. That's a 12, 13% discount right there. It's being priced into this deal. That's the market saying, oh, we're not necessarily convinced that this deal is going to go through. I don't know if I've ever seen a spread that big outside of maybe the Nvidia AMD ARM deal, whatever that is. It AMD or Nvidia? I don't even remember anymore. But I think it's Nvidia. I don't know. This is a very, very, you could drive a truck through this spread. So I don't know what that means. I'm surprised to see it trade so low. I really am.
I personally think it's going to go through. Why? Because of the reaction of Sony investors. Did you take a
Dude,
look at
oh,
Sony?
it's gotten lost today. Yeah, and for good reason. I mean, Michael Pachter said this on PreMarket Prep this morning. You have reason to be concerned here. I think, like, basically, if you are a PlayStation owner and you also play Halo and you've been thinking about converting, I don't know how large of an overlap that is. That's a lot of qualifications there, but if you're in that group, you just got your sign from God today, right? Like, this is it. Like, you are going to convert to Xbox here. So yeah, Sony down 7%. They are. We don't know what the implications are for Call of Duty on the PlayStation platform. Would Microsoft go exclusive like they have been like they did with Halo? Would they not? I don't know. But you're right. On the one hand, the market is taking it seriously with Sony. And on the other hand, the market's saying, well, we're not so sure about this. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, one stock that I have to say has been sneaky getting on up, and we're talking about an over 123% move in 12 days in this gaming sector that most people don't talk about. IMTE, Integrated Media Technology Limited. Look at that chart.
What is that? IMT? I don't even know if I know that one.
You see, it has a 74 million market cap. So you're not talking about a monstrous market cap, but definitely making moves. So you got to sometimes find these. Whenever you're seeing a major mover in this kind of area, you get a positive catalyst. This one had a crazy swing today. Went up all the way in pre-market. It got up towards 1024. We were watching a lot of volume come in at 9. This one actually closing up the day all the way up towards 1030s. So over 18% day for IMTE. And if you look at it daily, I mean, look at that thing. Thing's been taking off like a rocket.
Yeah, I mean, props to you for finding this one. It's not even on my radar at all. So
We'll see what happens. EA up too. Not a bad one to note, right? I mean, 7.3 million shares traded today. Definitely higher than 2 times the average volume that you normally get in EA. So some people were taking a shot there. We'll see if it can catch the bid near, let's say, 130s. All right, let's keep going. What other big news do we have?
That was kind of it. I wanted to hit on BBIG. I wanted to hit on DWAC. I wanted to hit on Activision, which we did. Oil, we talked about. Oh, we didn't look at Microsoft at all. Let's take a look at that real fast. This is probably just will go down as a classic, like, buying the dip opportunity in Microsoft. If you're looking to, like, buy Microsoft anyway, today is a great time to do that. If you already had it on your radar. I'm not saying come in and buy it here, but very often, you see Stocks trade down when they companies are do a deal, or when companies are perceived to have a new competitor in the space. I always think back. It's not quite apples to apples, but I always think back to the day that Walmart got traded down like 10%. The day that Amazon bought Whole Foods, and that was just a ridiculous chance to buy the dip on that day. It's not quite the same scenario here, but Microsoft, is it really worth 2% less today because they spent $70 billion on Activision? Probably not. So that's sort of my take there. If you're looking to buy it already, now is probably the time. If it were me. And what else do we have on the list here? Unilever, Mitch. Can you pull Unilever up? This thing is getting smoked today. We covered it briefly on the show this morning. I guess the implication here. So if you don't know the news, Unilever apparently they made 3 unsolicited bids for GlaxoSmithKline's consumer unit that GlaxoSmithKline promptly rejected. And then basically laughed at them on the way out. Said these bids undervalue our business completely. So maybe the reaction here is the market saying, Unilever leadership, what are you guys doing over there? You're trying to buy growth, which, okay, is not always the most loved path forward, but it is a path forward. So you try to buy growth, but the company that you're trying to buy a piece of just laughed in your face. Do you guys have a plan exactly? I think that's what the market is saying today. Is do you have a plan over there, Unilever? I mean, this is the worst day for Unilever. If I go back, this might be the worst day for Unilever. It is since March 2020. I mean, brutal.
Yeah, I mean, even in those days, I don't think it lost as much as it lost in one day today.
Probably not.
There is let's say this 7% day, but I mean, we're talking massive down. You can look for those lows to try to maybe find a bounce. You're looking at, let's say, down towards 44s. 45 is where I would give it. Let's say 44 right now. Look for it to get a little bit of a bounce there, but this is an ugly chart. And at least, I mean, you can look at the RSI, give yourself a little bit of leeway down towards 14. Hasn't gone down beneath 14 in about 3 years. So if it gets below that, that's when I would start getting to the point where maybe you get a little bit of reversal. But I mean, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, but definitely they're not happy with this company's board, and probably going to start seeing some board changes if this continues, I would say.
Yeah, this is the kind of day that, I mean, whatever plan they had, all deal, at this level, really what it comes down to is maximizing shareholder value. And this is the exact opposite reaction that they probably wanted. So, not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. And then what else was there? I see a few stocks in the chat. We will get to those in a second here. Let me make sure there was nothing else on the list that I wanted to cover. The banks, I feel like I kind of want to nibble at a little bit at these banks here. I know they're all having tough days here. Here's Goldman Sachs down 7% today off its report. If we go to a daily, you can see broader trend really outperforming a lot of tech out there. I don't know, maybe not Goldman Sachs, or maybe like a JP Morgan. We have Morgan Stanley reporting tomorrow. Was it really, were the reports really that bad? It didn't seem that bad to me. I mean, I'm not going to come in and try to catch this knife right now, but I feel like, give me a green candle for a day, and I could be easily talking to taking a flyer on any one of these bank stocks. But again, just give me a green candle, maybe even 2, frankly.
I mean, they're fighting. They're fighting down there. I think you're getting pullbacks. Probably people got into these a little bit early into the move. If you look, we're kind of trying to pull back last week's move. Last week's move on, let's say, WFC, you had a 2-week move going into this. So look for maybe a 10% pullback from those levels. I would say somewhere around like 52 for WFC. If you're looking at, let's say, a Goldman Sachs, or you said JP Morgan. So JPM.
Yeah, I threw up the KRE, which is the regional banking ETF, at Easy Mike's suggestion, and that one is it's down today, but the chart looks way healthier. So is that what is
Yeah,
that?
I think maybe just a
all-time-
move that was front runned a little bit. So I think you just look for some pullbacks, and then you can get into these. I think you maybe have like a down week this week, but then followed by an up week. Too many people in one move looking towards one direction. A lot of times what you do get is a move before, and then kind of when the news actually comes, it pulls back a little bit, and then you get a continuation. That's what I would look for in these financials.
But no, that chart looks way healthier, so that's something to look at. There are so many other different stocks you can go to in the financial space, whether it's investment banking. Someone just dropped Jeffries in there. You can do Piper Sandler as well. Goldman just said their iBanking unit had an amazing quarter. So what's Piper Sandler you can look at, which is PIPR. You can look at Jeffries, right? JEF. These charts all look the same. All right, we got 4 minutes until the close. If you have any tickers for us, drop them in the chat. Yeah, we got to look at ARKK just because we look at it every day. Down another 4%. Absolutely brutal.
Let's look at the more important one, at least catalyst-wise. Let's take a look at Lucid.
Oh, yeah. The lockup
Lucid.
expiration is
there it is, baby.
Wednesday.
Started talking about it today. I'll tell you one thing. I got shook out of this thing 2 or 3 times today, Spencer. So
really,
I'm definitely not getting back in it. Let's just say for washout rules. But for me, man, this thing was a little bit tricky, especially on the 1 or 5. You can see it a little bit cleaner on the 15. It did kind of hold kind of a trend line, an opening trend line down. But you can see this thing goes from like 40.77 down to 39.67 really quickly, right back up there towards that 40.70. So just be careful out there with Lucid. It does have some really like volatile moves. Like the ups and downs are easily $1.35. So in a stock like that, you're talking about 3 or 4%. Just on the swings alone between the ranges. So Lucid is going to be something to watch tomorrow. Coming down there to the 39. I put a tweet out there that I thought this could possibly go down to 30. And you're going to start seeing it. I think you'll start seeing a crazy reaction. I would be looking for an overreaction into pre-market, really quickly getting down there to 35. And then you'll see kind of a little bounce. That's kind of the level that I'm looking for. But hey, lockup period, we never know what can happen, right?
That's true. And also just PSA on the earnings front for tonight. Really not much. JB Hunt, Interactive Brokers, kind of it. Tomorrow, though, is when we get the real fireworks for the week, or the beginning of. We got Morgan Stanley, we got Bank of America, UNH, we're at a major Dow component. Procter & Gamble's tomorrow morning. Tomorrow after the close, you get Discover. You get United Airlines is tomorrow after the close. Alcoa. And then Thursday, of course, has Netflix. But we do got some reports. They're coming in. Next week is when the flow will really get heavy on the earnings front. But for now, we will settle for what we can get. And we got a couple of names to watch tomorrow morning at least. So,
all right, guys. Well, one that I will put out there, Netflix isn't kind of the Squid Game numbers going to hit with this report?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm thinking you'll hear a little bit about on Thursday after the close, but we'll see what happens.
That's a great point. They also raised their prices in the U.S. and Canada last week. But yeah, that's a good point. Squid Game, well, I'm sure there will be some positive commentary about that and all the engagement it drove. I'm not sure how much of that can be extrapolated going forward, but good call out because that was last quarter. It is 3:59 though. We got to hop off because we got a special episode of Benzinga's Cannabis Insider coming up next. They are talking to the former or the co-founder and the former CEO of MedMen. Adam Bierman will be on. He's going to do an Ask Me Anything, a tell-all, whatever you want to call it. A peek behind the curtain of what went on with MedMen. If you've been following the cannabis space, this company had a lot of shit go on. And actually currently is going on right now. So we've got their co-founder and former CEO on Benzinga's Cannabis Insider coming up live right now. The stream will end or redirect to that, there's our closing bell, which means we got to hop off for the day. And final tally is red across the board except for Energy. Thank you very much, Energy, for playing ball today. We appreciate your participation as always. Same to everyone in the chat. We appreciate all of you. So hit that like button for us, please. We're at 71 likes. Get us to 100. I think that would make the day end on a high note. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, before you kind of get on out of here, I do want to say definitely check out that, guys. The story of MedMen is one that's important for
It's
all
wild.
cannabis.
MedMen
It's
is
important.
It's freaking nuts. What
especially in the cannabis industry, right? I mean,
I almost bought this stock, Mitch. I came so close, like 4 years ago.
I can't blame you. I mean, yeah. I looked at it. This is a big story about pushing the gas pedal a little bit, maybe too quickly, and then realizing, oh no, we can't make what we were going to said we were going to make. Story that a lot of the SPACs are going to end up fighting through. So take a little lesson from this. It not only if you take a look at MedMen, but it could also be applied in many industries.
Yeah, it's a great like what went wrong lesson here. So that's going live right now. We're gonna hop off. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Check.